So I don't remember how I found this video. It was on my watch later list. I put the videos that I find interesting there, so I can review them later. I never wanted a job. Let's see what this guy has to say.
Wanted a job. The idea of going somewhere every day, following orders, just to earn money, it never appealed to me. And because
It's just slavery. Take the money out of the equation. That's just slavery. And you put the money in, it's still slavery. It's slavery with like multiple steps. That's what having a job is.
of that, I spent most of my life coasting. No goals, no plans, just assuming life would somehow figure itself out for me. But life did.
Your goal should be to have kids. Uh, your goal should be to have a healthy and a happy and a big family. That's what your goal is. Naturally, that's your goal. Also, things like maybe hunting a very big animal, you know, that could be fun. But it's like, as in things that are going to actually satisfy you in life, that's a big, healthy, happy family. And friends, natural friends, not.
Didn't just figure itself out, and by the time that I realised that, I was about to turn 30. So in this video I will share the decisions I've made, what I have learned as a consequence of my actions, and why I wish I figured this out sooner. Growing up, people would often ask me, what do you want to do when you're older? And I never had a clear answer. I just couldn't understand making plans for the future because I could only just get my head around what I wanted to do in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, humans are not adapted to the agriculture. Humans are not adapted whatsoever to this industrialized society, this modern society. We're not adapted to it. We weren't adapted to the industrial revolution. We weren't adapted to even the agricultural revolution, guys. We are adapted to the hunter-gatherer lifestyle. That's why we diagnose ADHD as a problem right now. It's not a problem. It's just being human. ADHD. Of course, there's some cases, extreme cases, but the reason everyone is diagnosed with all these attention disorders nowadays is because, well, that's just natural. That's how humans naturally are. That's why everyone is diagnosed with it. Nobody wants to sit down all day work or study. Like that's just not a natural human behavior. We don't want to think about what we're going to do in 20 years. We what humans really want what to think about is what they're gonna do next day, which animal they're gonna hunt next day, or what fruits are going to be in season, stuff like that. These asking children what they want to do in the future. In nature they would just answer you, I want to be a great hunter like my dad. I want to hunt great animals. That's what a kid would say. If you would ask a teenager in nature, they would say, I want a big family. I want many kids.
All I wanted to do was see my friends and play video games. I didn't want to do anything.
That's more natural than wanting a job. I'm serious. Wanting playing video games all day with your friends is more natural than actually studying and for a job and stuff. You know why? Because the reason video games like the one he's playing here are fun is because they're kind of like hunting, they imitate it. Of course, they're not like the real thing, and you're sitting in front of a computer, not engaging your body in it, so nothing nearly as mm, naturally satisfying for you. But still, it mimics it. These FPS games like Counter Strike, they imitate something. You like it's about strategy, and it's about your aim, right? It's about skills, it's about strategy, stuff like that. It's about your coordination, like your eye hand coordination, right? Your reflexes. It imitates hunting in that way, and you do it with your friends. So it's far more natural than like studying or working, because those are complete slavery.
Anything. My dad used to say to me that I was coasting through school, that I never really applied myself. And although I was bitter about this at the time, he was right. I thought I could just
Like, if you think about it, video games are always about one of these three things. Well, one of these four things. Like hunting, gathering, like adventure, as exploration, and like building stuff, which are all natural things. We would build shelters, we would explore our surroundings, we would gather stuff, like we would collect stuff, and we would hunt. Just look at the most popular games, like Counter Strike. Like I said, strategy. You make the strategy, like you use your reflexes to take down the enemy. Yeah, lots of video games are like that. Think about Minecraft, for example. When you were a kid, why was Minecraft so fun? Because of exploration, gathering, right? You gathered resources, you built yourself shelter. Even though you don't need a shelter in Minecraft, like, but you still build it because you wanna have a shelter in nature. A shelter would benefit you. That's what you're imitating in Minecraft, sort of, especially as a kid.
drift. That at some point I would just know what I was supposed to be doing. Like a calling. That calling never came. It wasn't even that I was trying to avoid thinking about the future or that I was lazy. It was like my brain just couldn't go there. I had this mental block. I could
If you're this disconnected from what you're supposed to do naturally, yeah, you can be lost like this.
didn't think beyond the now. Even today, I still struggle to imagine exactly what I want in the future.
Like, this is why age doesn't matter whatsoever. This guy is like over 30 years old. He doesn't know what he wants to do. I know exactly what I want to do, what's going to make me happy in life, and yeah, I know my purpose, which is having good food, which means health, having good food, good air, good sunlight. All these things are mean health. Yeah, basically a happy and a healthy big family that's going to make you happy in life.
But back then, it was just impossible. I continued to just follow my feelings, what felt good, which ultimately led to lots of video games, staying up late and doing just enough that I could pass college. One day I had completed my project work, all printed and neatly bound, and handing this in would put me at a triple distinction
Man, that's better than studying, I would say.
for my grade, and tomorrow was the deadline. I was at a friend's house playing video games and we decided to stay up all night. The next morning soon came around and the idea popped into my head.
Obviously, staying up all night is not good. The reason people stay up all night is because they do slavery during the day. Like, they're people don't want to stay up all night. Like, if you naturally, when you have nothing to do, like me right now, I have I have nothing to do, like no school, no nothing this year. And I never stay up late. Like, I don't try to sleep during the night. Like, I don't consciously do it. It's just what's natural. The reason that I used to stay up during the night and play video games, for example, like everyone did, is because I had school during the day. So my and school is just it's not natural whatsoever. It's so far from nature. You want to do things that feel natural to you. Like, you want to imitate hunting by playing video games or gathering or natural activities. You want to imitate them with these video games, and you only have time for them during the nights because you go to school all day, and and when you come home you have homework on top of that, which is just so fucked up. Homework is child abuse.
What if we just didn't go to college? I'll still pass even if I don't hand this work in. I'll just get a little bit of a lower grade. And so I brought the idea up and we had made the decision. I never did hand that work in. After college, I got a part-time job in a care home for people with brain injuries. I worked just enough to pay rent and get by. But that was it. I had no savings, but I didn't care. Every hour that I spent at work past the amount that I needed for that month felt like pain. I just didn't want to be there. I still thought that I could avoid working too hard and life would still work out. One day a resident came in who had HIV, and I was told that he was violent and a biter. I was terrified at the thought of it. Could he transmit HIV to me with one angry bite? Why was I even still working here? That was the first time I actually
No comment about that.
questioned what I was doing with my life. And instead of trying to figure it out, I decided to run away from it. I thought that if I gave university a go, I wouldn't have to deal with this anymore. And so I attended university. Not because I had a career plan, but because I just wanted an escape. I could put the world of work off for a few more years and coast a bit more. The weird thing is that I didn't actually regret university until recently. Only now, looking back at how much I owe in student debt, do I see how reckless that decision really was. But back then, it just wasn't a concern for me. I had no foresight into my own future, no real grasp on the consequences. Even the student loan companies were saying,
Yeah, don't get in debt, guys. Don't get in debt.
things like, no one ever pays these things off. It will just get written off in 30 years. And if that's the case, why are they even giving out the loan?
Of course they tell you that. They want you to take the loan. They want you to be their slave. That's what a loan is. You get money, like you get temporary freedom for like a few days in exchange for a lifetime of slavery.
Loans. They must be making money somewhere. And so I took on student debt for the wrong reasons. If you're thinking about uni yourself, don't do what I did. Do it because you actually want to be there, not just to run away from life. It was
Nobody wants to be actually there. If you wanted to run away from life, why not just go to the woods and, like hunt your own food, buy a rifle, do what you're doing in this video game, but in real life.
wasn't until my late 20s that I finally
I don't mean shoot people, obviously. I mean like hunting with the rifles.
understood something. Work isn't just about money or making yourself do something that you hate. It can give you a sense of self-respect, purpose, direction. And without those things, you just feel numb. And I felt numb for a lot of my life. I had no passion for what I was doing. I had no purpose. I often sat in my room alone, feeling depressed, wishing that I had some sort of direction in my life. I used to feel a deep sense of dread every time I had to plan something for the morning. Just the thought of work gave me stress headaches. It was like my brain was overheating from the pressure. I just felt awful. Only now, looking back, do I
Now,
realize
obviously, if you eat naturally, you're not gonna feel like this severely, but work is still going to stress you out because it's not natural. This direction that people look for is just you're so lost because you're so far from nature. If you go to nature, if you do what's natural, if you eat what's natural first of all, then you start doing natural stuff, you immediately realize what your purpose is. All that brainwashing doesn't matter that much because like it's it's ingrained in your DNA what you're naturally supposed to do. You can't go against it. You can't have another purpose because it's in your DNA. But your natural purpose is inside you. It's your DNA. It's your instincts. It's how your brain and your whole body works. You can't replace it with some other bullshit purpose like winning the Nobel Prize or having a good career, buying some car. No.
realise how much healthier I am. When I hear a student say I'm the best teaching assistant they've ever had, or I finish a
Hunting, love, health, these are the natural purposes. These are your direction in life, so to speak. You wanna get love, you wanna explore nature, you wanna build a shelter for yourself, you wanna eat healthy food, which is meats, organ meats, animal fats, dairy too, I guess.
creative project I never thought I could do, I feel something that I've never had before. Pride. Not just in my work, but in myself. The truth is, you don't just stumble upon direction.
Yeah, so they finally were able to enslave you, basically. All your life you were able to avoid enslavement, and they finally got to you.
It takes trying new things, failing at things, and trying again. Direction, purpose, self-respect, they all come with trying. Putting effort into work. Since I started truly giving myself, giving my all,
This listening to this guy for advice is very dangerous. Like this guy, I can just tell this guy knows nothing about. This guy is so lost. It's crazy. It's crazy how lost this guy is.
to the work that I want to do, I feel so much more alive. I am awake and driven. I get up early not because I have to, because I don't.
The funny thing is he might just be feeling that because on his way, like maybe he's close to some steak restaurant and he eats more steak. That might actually be the reason why he feels better. Like that's how funny it is.
Don't. But because I want to ensure that I put all of my energy into something, into work, to focus on something that matters to me. I also found multiple jobs that give me a deep sense of satisfaction and a connection with other people. Work
A job can never give you a sense of real satisfaction. Like I said, what you're naturally supposed to do is carved on stone. Okay? What you're naturally supposed to do is carved on stone. You can't change it. It's just what you're naturally supposed to do. You can't change it. You can't have another purpose. You can't have that's just it. That's just what you're naturally supposed to do.
Working with students who need additional learning support and making creative work for a marketing company. I spent most of my life
These video games, for example, these video games, sure, they imitate nature, but they're not going to fully satisfy you either because it's not nature. Like every video game is going to get boring. That's just the truth of it. After playing for 600 hours, maybe you're gonna get bored after playing for a day. Maybe you're gonna get bored after playing for a week. Maybe you're gonna get bored after playing for like 600 hours or 10,000 hours. But it's gonna get boring. You're not gonna enjoy it. You're gonna realize, oh my god, this game used to be so much better back in the old days before they made all these new terrible updates. The game was so much more fun. No, you just got bored because you're not doing something natural. It's not about the game changing. It's just that you were imitating nature with this game, but like what you're naturally supposed to do is carved on stone. You can't fake it with this video game, only for a little bit maybe.
avoiding work, and now I see it differently. Not every job will fulfill you, but sitting around waiting for life to happen, that's worse. If you don't choose a direction, life will choose one for you, and you might not like where it takes you.
Meaningless words. That sentence had no meaning to it.
And if you want to know how my life of coasting has ended for me financially,
I think I have ADHD, and this is the next video. Okay. I think we got the point.